Guys, it's so simple. It's so much more simple, yet more difficult than you could ever imagine to get the answer. And every answer is within all of us. All you have to do is listen to your conscience, like listen to the voice in your head that's telling you to either go for something or to not. It's that feeling within you when you fall in love with someone. That's your conscience telling you to go for it. When you have that immediate connection, but it's also that feeling when you know that you shouldn't be around certain people, when you have that gut feeling that something's off about someone. That's your conscience. That's our connection to the higher forms of ourselves, to the dream state, to the portion of reality where we're all connected in a more complicated and significant way than you could ever imagine. Your conscience is your soul's way of communicating with you. It's your soul's way of trying to guide you to the most fruitful outcome of your life, to make you the most successful and fulfilled person that you could possibly become, that keeps you on the probable reality that you've set out to step upon. And so when it comes to this thing, like, everyone wants to feel loved, they all want to feel fulfilled, they want to feel healthy, they all want to feel safe. And the key to achieving this is by listening to yourself. And I don't know why it's not taught more often. Like, it's such a neglected skill that the people don't have these days. But when you get that gut instinct to go for something, or you get that gut instinct that someone isn't right or that their energy's off, you need to start listening to it, because it will lead you to where you want to get to. Our higher selves always want us to be on the best path for ourselves. When we incarnate in this lifetime, there are multiple probable realities of which we can embark upon. And you're in a constant communication with the higher portions of yourself, the entity, to get a certain result out of a particular lifetime that you've incarnated in. And so when you listen to your conscience and you meditate and you listen to your higher self and you pay attention to your dreams, this is where it all comes through. This is where all of that communication happens. And if you pay enough attention to it, if you write about it and you learn how to decipher it and learn the language of the universe, which is within you, that communicates through you and to you, everything will fall into place the way that it's meant to. So I know it's difficult, because I've certainly been in many situations where I feel anxious and I feel depressed and I feel stressed and worried, because I've somehow ended up in a situation where I know that it's not resonating with me. It's not the kind of energy that is healthy for me to be taking in, and the voice in my head is telling me to get the hell out of this situation. I'm having nightmares about it. I'm dreaming about it. But at the same time, I know that it's a very confronting thing to do. Maybe you have people relying on you, or maybe you've been led to believe that people are relying on you in a certain situation, or perhaps you're being used by people without realizing it, or manipulated by unhealthy people who are also going through certain things and find it easier to distract themselves with other people's company in order to, as I said, distract themselves from a certain reality that they're in. But the thing is that it gets complicated here. But if you created something, or created someone that you had a line of communication with, but you understood that they had to go through their journey to understand or to experiment with a particular environment that they're through, such as what we're doing. We're incarnating into the physical realm to experience what it is to be human. If we knew all of the answers, if we knew everything that was going on, if we knew how to, if there wasn't war, if there wasn't hate, if there wasn't all these negative emotions and everything, if it was just pure love, if it was just pure bliss, there would be nothing to learn. There'll be nothing to go off to experience an elated sense of joy. And so the way that the soul communicates with us is that it gives us challenges. And so the way the universe communicates with us is it gives us challenges in order to overcome. And this is what the journey of the self is. It's when you get into these difficult situations, which are like the divine tests of whether you're worthy of yourself, essentially. You get put into these difficult situations where you might have to let people down, or you might have to fail, or you might have to go through abuse or all sorts of really negative experiences in order to develop yourself to a higher level. And that's what happens. Like, sometimes you come across certain people in your life that while you're in it, it's horrible, but once you understand and you remove those people from your lives and you understand the reason they were in your life, which was to help you develop, this is what it's all about. That's how these things happen. And so, as I said, the best way to develop and the best way to achieve like a sense of joy and love and creativity and success is to listen to the voice in your head, because it will always lead you toward a better future. I know that personally, any time that I've listened to the voice in my head, when I've been in a particular environment or a particular job or a particular friend group or a particular relationship, and I've ended up leaving it because I know that I'm not feeling right, like my energy's off, I'm acting out of line with the person who I know that I am in my head. Like, in our heads, I won't say we all think, we all know that we're wonderful and like magnificent people who are capable of giving like extreme amounts of love and sharing that wonderful capacity of ourselves with others. But a lot of the time, the way that we interact with the world and interact with others isn't in line with that. And so that's what we need to be striving for. We want to be listening to the conscience and the voice in our head that's driving our physical self to be in line with our mental self. And so, as I said, if you listen to the voice in your head, it's always going to lead you toward the right answers. It's always going to lead you toward a better and more fulfilling environment where you're going to be rewarded for taking care of yourself. And at the end of the day, I mean, everyone wants to feel loved by another, but the truth is that you can only love another person at the capacity of which you can love yourself. And it's not fair and it's not right to fall into a relationship with someone, in my opinion, and rely on them for your own happiness. It's draining on that other person. What you need to be doing if you want to fall into a relationship or be working on your relationship is that you want to be working on the self. You want to be expanding the capacity of love that you feel for yourself so you can share it with others, opposed to be needing other people's love to make yourself feel fulfilled. And once you hit this stage where you have listened to that voice in your head, where you are around really healthy people, where you're in an extremely good environment, where you live somewhere where you want to live, where you have a job where you want to have around like really great people, where you're like able to express yourself and be creative and cook and walk, like do anything you want be around nice weather and have like a good mental health. Like, once you're in that state, that's where the fulfillment comes from, and that's when you begin to learn how to love yourself. And once you know how to love yourself, you can love another at such an extreme capacity where it's not so much that you're giving your love to them, it means that you're amplifying the love for themselves. And in that's where like the real magic happens. And there's a sense of like transcendence when it comes to the connection and the bond that you have with that person. And so this is like gotten a little bit off topic, but I like to rant a bit and I go off on my spiritual tirades of just random advice. But as I said, just listen to yourself and pay attention to it. If you get a feeling about something, write it down and ask yourself, and question yourself as well. Don't just always go with what you believe is the right thing to do. The thing is that as you grow older, you'll begin to realize that there are people in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, at all ages, that actually haven't got much figured out, and that it's very possible that you, as a person in their 20s or early 30s, can be more mature than people who are far more developed in a physical sense. And so don't always believe what you've been told about yourself. Don't always believe the beliefs that have been bestowed onto you, because, as you can see, we don't really live in a healthy society. Suicide rates are through the roof. Depression's through the roof. Medication is through the roof. society is very sick, and so I really wouldn't recommend listening to the advice that you've been told your entire life if that advice hasn't really led to healthy results. So I don't know. Just question things, listen to yourself, write things down, and go with your gut feeling about things, and just I don't know. Always be in the pursuit of health and love and happiness. I think that's the main thing, and like creativity and sharing that health, love, happiness, and creativity with others, and it will always lead you to a very fruitful and fulfilling existence. That's it for right now. I'm sure I'll get back to doing more, but hope you're all well. God bless. Peace.